Ahoy! Ryan Foland here, and today I'm going to talk about influence. If I ask you the question, what is influence? Could you answer it? Well, I'm sure you can, but do you know that there are not seven, there are 11 different ways that you can actually create influence. But what is influence? The definition that I like to use is twofold. Influence is something that helps people change the way that they think, and it helps them to take action. So today I'm going to go over the 11 different ways that you can actually gain more influence. And as you have an understanding of this, you can start to look for opportunities of how to leverage these specific strategies. So the first one is rational or reasoning. This is using logic. This is saying these are the best glasses ever. They are blue blockers or they are polarized. It is using a rational way to convince people. The second way that you would essentially try to influence people is by appraising the situation for them. Now, what this means is that if you're trying to change the way that somebody thinks, or you're trying to get them to take action, instead of try to find out what makes sense for them. So if this is in a work environment and you need somebody to help you on a project, what would make them look good? What would be in it for them, right? This whole what's in it for me, but for the other person. So if you can appraise that, then it can help other people and it gives them the chance to get involved and do what you want, but in a way that helps them out. The third way to help gain more influence is through inspiration. Now, inspiration inspires inspiration. And this is sort of for the morals or the values, or like, come on, let's do it for the team. There's a whole sphere of influence that comes around doing it for the big team. Now, if you are trying to gain influence, try to find that aspirational or the inspirational so that people aren't doing it for you, they're doing it for the larger cause. Another form of influence is through collaboration. Now, this is where you might have a certain decision that you want to have made. You might even have the decision made that you want. But by bringing people into that decision making and making it more of a collaboration, you have a better chance of influencing the people to go along with you. So again, instead of just making a decision, collaborate, bring people in with it. Now, the next one is exchange tactics. And exchange tactics are literally, I'll do this for you if you can do this for me. Funny story, when I met Leonard Kim for the first time, this is the influence tactic that I used to essentially get his help in building my personal brand. I said, look, I can help you if you can help me. We shook hands and here we are. Another way that is it's not a great way to influence is ingratiation. And actually this is something that you should try to avoid if you're trying to persuade or you're trying to influence people. The idea here is that ingratiation means you're being super, super nice. Like, hey, it's so great to see you. But maybe that was the first time that you had been cordial with them when you saw them. There are people in your life, there are family members in your life that literally all of a sudden are nice and they pop up out of the blue and you're like, why are you being so nice to me? And then pretty soon after, they're asking for money or they're asking for help or they need something. So try to avoid ingratiation when you're trying to flex your influence muscles. The next would be a collation, and this is somewhat like collaboration, but it's really about forming a team of people who are trying to have influence together or collectively. And this is important to bring these stakeholders into your circle so that you can influence as a group essentially. Now, there's also legitimate influence, and this is your job title is blank. That means I need you to help me with this. And this is completely fine to leverage legitimate influence, or if you are in a position of power and you're able to have somebody help you out, well, if it's their job to help you out, you can tap into that legitimate influence. There's also another tactic that you should avoid, and it is pressure. When you pressure someone, it's not the right type of influence. You can try to pressure somebody to change the way that they think. You can try to pressure someone to take action, but it's not going to be the most effective in the long run. And the final of these 11, that is one of my favorite, and that I love to do, is persistence. Persistence, persistence, persistence. When done tactfully and you are pleasantly persistent, you can really tap into influence. Because let's face it, you send an email to somebody, they don't reply. You can send another email, they don't reply. You can find out their Twitter handle and send them a DM, they might not reply. But if you keep at it, that is a type of influence, and that's a way to gain influence over somebody who is maybe at a different stature or a different height, so that you can actually reach them. So there you have it. That is 11 different ways to gain influence. And again, influence is two things. It's helping to change the way that people think, and it's getting them to take action. So you might hear the word influence or influencer out there, and it doesn't mean that you have a lot of followers. Influence at its core is your ability to change the way that people think and to get them to take action. But know that there are different strategies around it, and when you take and you combine some of these 11 together, you can be very tactical and you can get what you want, when you want, from the people that can help you get what you want, all while being a positive thing. So there you have it. I'll probably break down each one of these in a bit more in-depth videos, but for now, this is it. Now, if I've influenced you, if I've gotten you to change the way that you think, well, my ask now is to take some action. And if you like this video, send it off into the world. And if you want to find me and connect, do so on Twitter. That's pretty much where I live, at Ryan Fulland. I will see you around online sometime and talk to you then. Bye.